BBC Radio 1.
This programme contains descriptions of drug and alcohol abuse that some people may find offensive. If you are easily offended, go to the BBC Radio 1 website to listen to another show.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's BBC Radio 1's Residency. One day, years ago, 3 superstar DJs fell to earth. Their only goal was to save the world one set at a time. Now, they've joined forces to become the defenders of Radio 1's Residency. They are Chucky, louder than a sonic boom. Heidi, deeper than the infinity of space and time. But this week it's Kutski, defender of the hardest beats, champion of the decks, a valiant, courageous fighter against the evil forces of anything under 140 beats per minute.
Hey, I can be the answer. I'm ready to dance when the amps up. And when I hit that dip, get your camera. You can see I've been that since the pamper. And that I am that young since the beacon. She wants to compete and I can figure fit that pump with your peepin'. You know what you become when her weeds in. I just wanna sit that punch with your peeps in. Sitting at lunch if you're treating. Kick it with you come from Parisian. She know where I get mine from in the season. Now she wanna lick my plum in the evening. And fit that tongue to deep end. I guess that get a eaten. I guess that get a eaten. I guess that get a eaten.
DJ Kutski, BPMs faster than the speed of sound.
Yes, it's Kutski back on Radio 1, back with the hard beats on the Residency show. Many thanks to Nick. Well, now we're going in for the hard beats, hardstyle, hardcore, rave music. To the full, it's Kutski Radio 1.
I was in the 212 on the Uptown 8, and you know what's up, or don't you? Where the who made ya? I'm a root. Yeah, what are you made up of? I'ma eat your food up, boo. I could bust your 8. I'ma do 1, 2. You gon' do? When you do make fuss, I'ma look right, but you do 1, 2. Like you do 1, 2. Get to cover in my 2, 1, 2. Sky licking in the water by the blue. Yeah, you caught the warm goo, and you do wreck too, son. You a Kool-Aid dude, plus chicken. I'm shit. I wonder who let you come to 1, 2. What you do, crew, son? You went too, hun. It's better do run. You can get homie if you do 1, 2. Put your up. Tell your crew don't front. I'm a hoodlum. You know you were 2 once. They're about to boo up too. I'm the 1, 2 day. I'm the niche bitch, young Rapunzel. Who are you, bitch? New line. I'ma ruin you. I'm like you do 1, 2. Get the cover in my 2, 1, 2. Sky licking in the water by the blue. Yeah, you caught the warm goo, and you do wreck too, son. They're about to boo up too. I'm the 1, 2 day. I'm the niche bitch, young Rapunzel. Who are you, bitch? New line. I'ma ruin you.
BBC Radio 1's Residency. Superstar DJs on rotation.
Hey yo, I heard you're riding with the same tall tale. Telling them you made some. Saying you're grinding but you ain't gone nowhere. Why you resonate, girl? You got a lot but you just waste all yourself. They'll forget your name soon. And won't nobody be the blame but yourself, yeah.
Yes, kicking off the show hard and techie. Sounds the Organ Donors cover of Azalea Banks, who's going to be at Radio 1's big weekend. But a tough and techie remix, forthcoming on Organ Donors' Audio Surgery label. That's the end of this month, I think. Big stuff in the clubs at the moment.
Bitch, I'm in the 212 with the 5th card. It's the 212. You gon' do when your goon sprayed up. Bet you won't get it. Bet you won't do much. See, even if you do want to, but you get your cuts, touch your crew up too. Pop, you playing with your butter like your boo won't shoot. You get the gun too. What you do, eat fun? Go with a cutie cue. What you?
You're in tune to the Residency, and this week with myself, Kutski, bringing you the hard beats. We're live and direct in the studio right now. We want to hear from you. You can hit us up on the text. 81199 is the number. Or you can always get in touch on Radio 1's Facebook page or on Twitter. That's at BBC R1. Loads coming up on the show tonight. We'll be getting into that very shortly. But first, let's get straight into the mix.
Let's go.
BBC Radio 1's Residency with Kutski.
Kutski, BPMs faster than a subatomic particle accelerator.
Tune in the background, this one's Subkiller, KRK. And I just found out that Zane Lowe's been all over this tune as well, which is really good. Expanding the sound, expanding the scene. A style of music that they're calling subground. Kind of all the elements of hardstyle, but a little bit slower and techier, but still pumping. So if you want to get clued up on these tunes, make sure you're also tuned in to Zane's show Monday to Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. We had a versus this week with Tenacious D tonight.
Peace.
And if you're new to the show, right now you're in tune to BBC Radio 1's Residency. It's all about the specialist underground music with 3 DJs on rotation. Heidi representing the cool techno scene. Chucky representing the dirty Dutch house, and myself this week, Kutski, with the hard dance and hardcore. Big tunes lined up for you tonight from the sounds of Audiofreq, Frontliner, Gammer and Styles. We've got the Residents Association coming up in about 20 minutes time this week with Ruthless, a resident out at a club in Holland. We'll be telling you more about that later on in the show. And we've got Lisa Pinup, the legend from the hard dance scene, in the mix in the second hour. So make sure you stay up. It's going to be a late one with Kutski Radio 1. Turn it up.
Kutski, serving you up a massive slice of hard dance and hardcore.
In the background now, courtesy of Break 3, BRK3.
Time to let go.
Big player on the hard dance scene with these techie vibes. We had him as a guest on the show earlier in the year. And he's getting a bigger and bigger fan base. From Australia, now living out in Holland. Let's get some shouts on the go. Shouts from the Twitter crew got in touch. Shout to Power in Mexico. Mark in Fife. Alan, wouldn't miss the show for the world. Shout to Harpreet, listening to the hard beats, helping him with the revision. Also big up to Shane, keeping the parents up with the banging tunes. I'm sure they're appreciating that as well. Big shout to Shane's parents if they can hear me through the wall.
DJ Kutski, beats stronger than kryptonite.
Yes, picking up the tempo now as we go in for some hardstyle beats. This one now, wicked track that I got sent through from Scope DJ, entitled Scream for More. It's forthcoming on Scan Tracks. And we've got plenty more hardstyle beats on the show coming up for you tonight. As well as Ruthless is going to be up in about 10 minutes time for this week's Residents Association. This is Kutski Radio 1.
BBC Radio 1's Residency, Kutski, Charly and F.O.I.D on rotation. BBC Radio 1's Residency, Superstar DJs on rotation.
Yes, it's Kutski on the Residency representing the hard beats. Keeping you awake on Thursday night into Friday morning. You can't sleep with these beats in the background, can you? Well, I've got a bunch of people that can't anyway. We've got in on the text, 81199. Shout to the elite, keeping the rave alive. Wedding style. Before the wedding tomorrow. Wow, it's like, you wouldn't really think this is kind of pre-wedding music. So imagine walking down the aisle to this, like Audiofreq. Big shout to Declan, listening with his best mate Ryan before he moves to uni. Big up guys, shout to Johnny and the Scottish raving crew. Also shout to Steve in Oxford. What a way to open the show, obviously loving the Organ Donors track. 81199 on the text. Kutski, turn it up.
Hurry up.
Still big stuff coming up on the show. Ruthless very soon for the Residents Association. Lisa Pinup representing the sounds of Hard House. Coming up at 1 o'clock. And as well, the hardest record in the world in about half an hour. And trust me, this week, we are going in hard and fast. But now let's get back into the mix.
Back off. 'Cause I've been working like a slave. Freedom to walk, to weekend. Bend the enable to shine. Bring me down to the deep end. Back off. Let me lose my mind. 'Cause I've been working like a slave. Back off. 'Cause I've been working like a slave. Freedom to walk, to weekend. Bend the enable to shine. Bring me down to the deep end. Back off.
massive festival anthem in the background now. Brennan Hart and Wildstylez, Lose My Mind. I dug this one out because I was thinking, big festival anthem, we've almost hit the summer now, and it's like driving down here today in torrential rain. Or maybe that is festival weather, really. Certainly for the UK, but big tune nonetheless.
Down and out with my dumb friends, ready to misbehave. Forget about Monday to Friday, 'cause I've been working like a slave. Creeping towards the weekend, envy I'm able to shine. Bringing me down to the deep end. Back off, and let me lose my mind. Back off. Forget about Monday to Friday, 'cause I've been working like a slave. Creeping towards the weekend, envy I'm able to shine. Bringing me down to the deep end. Back off, and let me lose my mind.
DJ Kutski beats faster than the speed of light.
Yes, it's Kutski, BBC Radio 1 on the Residency with all the hardest, fastest music around. And right now it's time for the feature that we call the Resident Association.
Resident Association.
Basically this, every time we're on the show, we shed the light on a resident DJ from a club around the world, and we ask them what's it like to be a resident DJ. And this week we've got Ruthless from Holland on the phone. How's it going, man?
Yo, yeah, very nice, very good.
Cool. So how long have you been DJing for now?
From 1995 or something.
Wow, so from way back in the day. And we're going to talk to you about your residency at the Pussy Lounge. Now, tell us a little bit about this night.
Yeah, it's a very special party. You can play whatever you want, all kind of genre, as long as it is hard and it's a good atmosphere, And so it's about the music and about the girls, basically.
Excellent stuff. Sounds like a winning combination.
Yeah. It's pretty tough for a DJ sometimes, because you're a little distracted when there's 6 pretty girls behind you all the time on stage,
Excellent. Sounds like an amazing night. So, How long have you been a resident for the night for?
I've been around the Pussy Lounge from the beginning, but I've been an official resident, I think, now for 4 or 5 years.
And what sort of other DJs do you play with on the night?
We have 3 other residents. It's Paul Elstock, Mental Theo, and Dark Raver. And we have guests every other party. So this time, the next edition, it's the Viper, Deepak, and some other DJs.
And this is the part in the interview where we ask you what the best thing about being a resident for your club is. Now, I think it's going to be pretty obvious what the answer for this one is.
Yeah, it's the only party that I'm obligated to get drunk.
Excellent stuff. Sounds like an awesome party. So you're going to play us a track now that represents the sound of the night. So do you want to introduce the track for us?
Okay, now you're going to listen to one of my new tracks. It's called Givin' It All.
Excellent. Thanks, Ruthless. This is Givin' It All.
Resident Association. Residents Association. Residents Association.
Yes, track in the background now from our resident this week, the sounds of Ruthless, giving it all you got, representing the sounds of his residency at the Pussy Lounge. And thanks for him to jumping on the phone and letting us know what that night's all about. I think he opened all our eyes with that, of what the possibilities of clubbing are. Amazing stuff. Thanks, man.
DJ Kutski beats faster than the speed of light.
We're going back in hard again now, though, with the sounds of hard trance. This little bootleg from Derb, entitled Derb is Derb, courtesy of Rag and Log One from the UK. We've got some more shouts in on the text. Shout to Anne from Tamworth, keeping it hard. Shout to Alan in Cumbria. Said really looking forward to the Lisa Pinup mix coming up later in the show. Shout to Jez in Nuneaton, still up, doing it hardstyle, that's what we like. Big shout to all the Twitter crew who got in touch. Helen saying good job that she couldn't sleep because now she's listening to the show and loving it. Shout to Paul who says this is perfect couch dancing music. It's like your couch isn't going to last long if you dance to this on it, mate. Trust me. Been through a few couches doing that myself. Shout to Nikki and all the lads working till 6 a.m. Hope the heartbeats keep you up. Let's go in hard. Yes, it's Kutski on the Residency, BBC Radio 1. If you've just tuned in now, you've already missed new Organ Donors tune, new Scope DJ Isaac. And in the background now, Derby's Derb, Rag and Log 1 bootleg. You know, and if you think this one in the background, if you're thinking, yeah, you know, loving the hard beats and stuff, you think this is hard, this is not hard. Because coming up next, it's time for the hardest record in the world right now. And this tune I've had in my CD wallet for just a little while. And it's kind of, you know, when you're playing that gig and people are just like harder. And then, you know, when it gets to the end of the set, it's like, okay, right, you wanted it hard, right? Now you're going to get it hard now. And it never fails to see people on the dance floor, you know, half go absolutely crazy for it. And the other half do kind of like freeze like a rabbit in the headlights when the beat drops. And what I want you to do is drop me a text on 81199 and give me 3 words that you think describe this tune when the beat drops on it. Okay? You got that text number 81199. I just want your name and 3 words. This is the sounds of the player with My Misery, and this is the hardest record in the world right now.
Yes, Kutski, this is the hardest record in the world right now.
The hardest record in the world right now.
So you ready? 81199 on the text, 3 words to describe this.
He knows the code.
Go!
Another day's been laid to waste in my disgrace. Stuck in my head again. Feels like I'll never leave this place. There's no escape. I'm my own worst enemy. I've given up.
The hardest record in the world right now.
record right now.
Yeah, there's no arguing with me this week. This is the hardest record in the world. The Player, My Misery, massive tune. It's like, just listening to the track in the studio is making me out of breath. It's done well. 3 words in on the text. Matthew says, super duper dope. Joel says, dirty robot grinding. Red Fern says, filthy pumping epic. Rich says, really fat dangerous. Paul says, pure unadulterated dirt. I think that's a good one.
Kutski's beats, scarier than a bat out of hell.
I think we need to take a breather now. Never thought we'd go into a hardstyle mix and say, let's take a breath. This one in the background now from Noisecontrollers' latest album. It's Noisecontrollers and Pavelow mixing up some dubstep and hardstyle vibes on this one. It's entitled Quatre. You're in tune to Kutski, turn it up.
Noisecontrollers. Pavelow.
surrounded by stars and lights, crowds of people shining bright. And it's for tonight, we will never come down. 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 Stars and lights, crowds of people shining bright. And it's for tonight, we will never come down. 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 We will never come down.
Yes, Kutski back with the hard beats on Radio 1. Let's get some text on the go. Shout to Cookie, first time listener driving home from London to Birmingham and loving the show. Big up Cookie. Also shout to Ben, Tim and Jay in Burton-on-Trent. And Rob in Yorkshire who says, Kutski, how about bringing a few classics out? Mate, stay tuned till the end of the show. You're going to be loving the last 15-minute mix that I've got for you. Pure underground old school anthems. And if all this has got you pumped for the weekend, don't forget you've got the official start to the weekend tomorrow night. You know, we're like the unofficial rebels, starting the rave early. You know, we try and squeeze in a 3-day weekend every week. But the official start is tomorrow night from 7 with Annie Mac. From 9, it's going to be Pete Tong. At 11, Scream and Benga. And at 1 a.m, the world famous Essential Mix. But back to the unofficial start of the weekend. Very shortly, we're going to be talking to Lisa Pinup, the Hard House legend, and she's going to be giving us an exclusive guest mix coming up at 1 o'clock. So make sure you keep it locked on Radio 1. Let's go back into the hard beats. It's Kutski.
You should have acted
They are already here.
It's The Residency on BBC Radio 1.
They are already here. The Elder Scrolls told of their return until the time after Oblivion opened, when the sons of Skyrim would spill their own blood. There is one they fear. He is Headhunterz, Dragonborn. And when the truth finally dawned, it dawned in fire.
Yes, going in hard with the raw beats now. Sounds the Rebels from Italy. And this is their new one, Skynet, tough and raw. shout to the Twitter crew, been in touch. Big shout to Nathan in Australia. Says, boom, what a way to start my day over here. Big up Nathan. Might be seeing him out in Australia next weekend. Always love the parties out there, wicked atmosphere. Also shout to Richard. On holiday in Belgium, but listening live, big up. Shout to Carly. All this Hardstyle's taking her back to living in Holland. Well, you know, like Holland is kind of the birthplace of Hardstyle, really. Also shout to Lucas and Rachel, raving in bed. We've hit the halfway mark on the show already. Wow, time flies. We've still got plenty of beats to keep you awake until 2 a.m. before Toddle takes over. And next up, we've got a guest mix from Lisa Pinup. And I had a chat with her on the phone earlier. Let's hear what she had to say.
BBC Radio 1's Residency with Kutski.
So I'm joined on the phone now by the lovely Lisa Pinup. How's it going?
I'm fine, thank you. Nice to talk to you.
It's good to have you back on the show. It's been a few years since you've been down at Radio 1 Towers. What have you been up to recently?
Well, I had a 5-month break because I had a little boy, little Archie, but he's done there, big bouncing boy, so now I'm back behind the decks.
Yeah, we saw each other at the weekend down at Sugar in Somerset, which was an awesome night. So you're back on the scene now, full-time, taking the scene by storm?
Yeah, so I had a little breather, a little time off, but so I'm back there now. So I did miss seeing everybody, so it's good to be back.
Yeah, I think everybody agrees. Great to have you back on the scene again. And for anyone that doesn't know, can you describe the music that you play?
I play, it's under the title of Hard House, but I'm very uplifting and very sort of bouncy.
Excellent stuff. So you've done as a guest mix for the next 30 minutes. Can you give us a little teaser of what we can expect to hear?
As I say, it's very sort of happy, sort of euphoric, but still quite pumping. It's hard, but it's pumping, but it's still got like loads of melody, and I like a bit of vocal as well.
And who's your favourite artist on the scene at the moment?
I sort of dip into all different sort of artists, really. I sort of I do my record shopping like any other producer. I go onto the sites, and I just pick a few bits here and bits and bobs up from everywhere.
So quite an eclectic mix of music then, really. Is that what it's all about?
That's right, yeah. So might be something, oh, that's a gem, and then there might be another producer, oh, that's another one, that's lovely.
So Lisa, I think everyone agrees that you're the pin-up of the hard house scene, but who would you say your ultimate pin-up is?
My husband, of course, but a guilty pleasure. This is a bit of one that's way out there. I really do like Eddie Izzard.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that one. Exclusive for Radio 1. So, do you want to introduce the mix for us?
Well, I'm Lisa Pinup, and I hope you enjoy my Hard House bouncy mix.
It's the guest mix on BBC Radio 1's Residency.
Work that ass.
So, Lisa Pinup. Her embarrassing pin-up is Eddie Izzard. I didn't see that one coming, you know. Not at all. Let us know on the text, Twitter or Facebook. Who's your embarrassing crush? 81199 on the text. And you know us on Twitter and Facebook by now. Hit us up, we want to know. This should be entertaining. For now, we get straight into the mix. It sounds Lisa Pinup on Radio 1.
It's the guest mix on BBC Radio 1's Residency.
It's The Residency on BBC Radio 1.
on BBC Radio 1's Residency.
Residency on BBC Radio 1.
Yes, right now, we're in the thick of the guest mix. This week, from Lisa Pinup, representing the sounds of UK Hard House. And she told us her embarrassing pin-up crush that was Eddie Izzard. And none of us saw that one coming. So we asked you if you could get in touch with us and let us know your embarrassing crush. But, we are going to read them on air, so, you have to be ready for it. Sammy in Belfast says his crush isn't embarrassing, it's Lisa Pinup. Well, no one's going to argue with you there, mate. Jace on the M25 agrees. Dylan says he's business teacher. And he hasn't left his last name, with that, so he can't think. But even when he just says me business teacher, you kind of get an image, don't you? It's not a bad one. James says Claire Balding, and it's like, maybe I'm a little bit detached. I don't know who that is, but it got some laughs in the studio, so I'm assuming that's not a great one, or one to be embarrassed of, maybe. Karen says Greg James. Of course, that's Greg from Radio 1, 4 till 7, Monday to Friday. He's quite a good-looking chap, isn't he, Greg? 81199 on the text if you want to get in touch. If it's not so embarrassing that you don't mind having it read out on national radio. This is Kutski, and we go back in the mix with Lisa Pinup. Sounds a hard dance on Radio 1.
Guest mix on BBC Radio 1's Residency. BBC Radio 1's Residency.
It's Radio 1's Residency taking over the airwaves early on a Friday morning. And don't forget, if you just tuned into the show now, if you want the track lists or if you just want to listen to it again because the beats have been so amazing tonight, you know the place to do it. Radio 1 website, bbc.co.uk, and follow the clicks. Right now, we're in the mix with Lisa Pinup, and we've been shouting out some of your embarrassing pin-up crushes. And this has been getting quite interesting. Radio 1 DJs have been getting a lot of love. Joe texts in, he says Fern Cotton. I don't think anyone's going to be, arguing with that one. 10 till 1 every weekday. You can check Fern out. Dizzy says Keith Lemon. Not sure how serious that one is. Dan says Kutski. Thanks, man. Feeling the love. Rich says Carol Vorderman. Somebody says Stephen Fry, but they put it through as anonymous. You can't do that. You can't say, I'm going to read it out as an anonymous crush in there. So whoever thinks that Stephen Fry is their anonymous crush, text us in with your name. We want to know. Shaggy in Tamworth says Anne Savage. That's not embarrassing at all. If you want to join in the fun and be named and shamed on air with your embarrassing crush, 81199 at BBCR1 on Twitter or BBC Radio 1 on Facebook. Now we go back into the mix.
It's the guest mix on BBC Radio 1's Residency.
Shake that ass, girl. Shake that ass, girl. Go 50 in the house, bounce. Y'all already know what I'm about. Go 50 in the house, bounce. Y'all already know what I'm about. Go 50 in the house, bounce. Y'all already know what I'm about. Go 50 in the house. Y'all already know what I'm about. Go 50 in the house, bounce. Y'all already know what I'm about. Go 50 in the house, bounce. Y'all already know what I'm about. Go 50 in the house, bounce. Y'all already know what I'm about. Go 50 in the house. Shake that ass, girl. Shake that ass, girl. Shake that ass, girl. Stand up, let's party. Stand up, let's party. Stand up, let's party. Stand up, let's party. Let's party. Let's party. Let's party. Let's party. 2, 3, let's go. Shake that ass, girl. Shake that ass, girl. Shake that ass, girl. Shake that ass, girl. Go 50 in the house. Go 50 in the house. Go 50 in the house. Bounce. Y'all already know what I'm about. Go 50 in the house. Go 50 in the house. Go 50 in the house. Bounce. Y'all already know what I'm about. Go 50 in the house. Go 50 in the house. Go 50 in the house. Bounce. Y'all already know what I'm about. Go 50 in the house. Go 50 in the house. Go 50 in the house. Bounce. Y'all already know what I'm about. Stand up, let's party. Stand up, let's party. Stand up, let's party. Stand up, let's party. Let's party. Let's party. Let's party. Let's party.
Guest mix on BBC Radio 1's Residency.
Y'all already know what I'm about. Go 50 in the house, bounce. Y'all already know what I'm about. Go 50 in the house, bounce. Y'all already know what I'm about. Go 50 in the house. Shake that ass, girl. 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 Go 50 in the house, bounce. Y'all already know what I'm about. Go 50 in the house, bounce. Y'all already know what I'm about. Go 50 in the house, bounce. Y'all already know what I'm about. Go 50 in the house. Shake that ass, girl. Y'all already know what I'm about. Go 50 in the house. Go 50 in the house. Go 50 in the house.
we've got the last of the embarrassing pin-up crushes. We've got Joe, who says Kermit the Frog, kind of. Whatever floats your boat. We've got Luke, who says Susan Boyle, and there's been a lot of likes on that next to Facebook. I don't know if that's other people that like Susan Boyle or just like the fact that Luke does. I think it's the latter. Mike says Janet Jackson, Anna says Philip Schofield, and Lynn says 50 Cent. You know, these are not so embarrassing. Maybe, depends. Many thanks to Lisa Pinup for the amazing guest mix. And inspiring us to talk about our embarrassing pin-up crushes. We've got about 30 minutes of the show left. If you want to get in touch and get a shout, 81199 on the text, at BBC Radio 1 or Radio 1 on Facebook.
DJ Kutski, BPMs faster than a speeding bullet.
Only if I had one more.
Okay, we're pumping the tempo now as we go into the hardcore mix. This one in the background, a remix of a big tune from Kurt from a few years back. I used to play the original this one on the show many times, and we've got a brand new refix now courtesy of Ramos, Mob and Protocol. This is Break the Law.
Break the law. Only if time to kick the rhythm and keep it ripping down the door. So the real criminals get exposed behind the closed doors in the suits that make and break the law. Only if I had one more time to kick the rhythm and keep it ripping down the door. So the real criminals get exposed behind the closed doors in the suits that make and break the law.
DJ Kutski.
DJ Kutski, beats stronger than kryptonite.
Massive summer anthem, this one in the background now. Sounds of Darren Styles teaming up with Gammer with Paranoia. Big one to start the festival season and all the big summer gigs. I'm making my first trip out to Ibiza this weekend. Very much looking forward to that. I think I'm starting to get that, too ill, white, pasty looking thing. I can try and fix that for a day in Ibiza for Judgment Sunday, which is going to be massive. Big lineup of Radio 1 DJs representing there. I'm over with Jordan Suckley and Danny Howard. 2 new signings to Radio 1. Of course, if you want to catch Jordan's show, he's on In New DJs We Trust, which is a weekly show with DJs on rotation. And Jordan does 9 till 10 on Thursday nights. And he's on the last Thursday of every month representing the sounds of trance. Banging hard stuff. If you like this show, check his show out for sure. As well as Danny Howard's Dance Anthems every Saturday 4 till 7. And of course at Judgment, we'll be there with the Radio 1 legend that is Judge Jules. Looking forward to catching up with him again. If you missed any of the show tonight and you want to get the track list in, head online to the Radio 1 website and look for the Residency on there. You can listen to the show again for the next 7 days. But now let's go back into the hardcore beats. It's Kutski, Radio 1.
Here we go again.
Coming up shortly, we've got a track from the resident who's taken over the airwaves next Thursday at midnight. Sounds of Chucky. Hot track from him. And then coming up at 2 a.m, Toddler T's in the place. But now we've got a remix of a Dutch hardcore classic. And this is kind of, if we're talking about guilty pleasures, this is the ultimate track for me. Charly, Lownoise and Mental Theo, Wonderful Days. Brand new Restyle and Bass D remix.
Hardcore, know the score. Hardcore, know the score.
Listen.
Absolutely loving this blistering track in the background now. All the way from out in Holland, Kasparov with All Around the World. This is from his new EP, forthcoming on Neophyte Records. One of the biggest labels for these hard beats. Featured many times in the Hardest Record feature. Loving it. So you're in tune to the Residency. I'm sure you know the score by now. It's all about cutting-edge underground dance music with 3 DJs on weekly rotation, representing all the different styles. And coming up on the show next week, representing the sounds of Dirty Dutch House, we've got Chucky.
BBC Radio 1's Residency with Chucky.
And he's left us this brand new tune for us to play tonight to represent what's coming up on the show for him next week. This is Chucky and Promised Land, and he calls this one Breaking Up.
BBC Radio 1's Residency, Kutski, Chucky and Heidi on rotation.
You see the trouble with me.
Sounds of Chucky and Promised Land breaking up. Make sure you keep it locked on the Residency. Next week, midnight, Chucky representing the sounds of the Dirty Dutch with a Dada Life guest mix. Some more shouts from the online crew. Twitter crew, big up to Ron, raving away in the car in Frampton. Shout to Stacey and the Grimsby raving crew. Also shout to Easy, the Bedroom Manchester stomping crew. Shout to Mike in Ireland, listening on the laptop. And James, filling his room with the bass. That's what we like. But now let's take things back to the old school.
Now this happens to be DJ Kutski taking you back to the old school. Alright? Hold tight.
Psychosis. We are the criminal minds.
Getting in the mood for Toddler T coming up 2 a.m. We're fusing the sounds of reggae, ragga and hardcore, which, people may think this is kind of crazy combination, but a lot of the early hardcore stuff was very, very ragga influenced. You listen to a lot of early Prodigy stuff. Slipmat SL2 on a ragga tip bridges the gap nicely, and this is one of my favourite tunes from way back in 1992. The magic year for rave music, I always say. So many great tunes. Sounds of Criminal Minds. This is Baptised by Dub. And that almost brings us to a close again. Wow. So when you listen to this music, time does go so fast, doesn't it? Finishing with a classic though, Prodigy, Rough in the Jungle Business. If you missed any of the show, make sure you get online and listen to it again. I know you want to. So many great tunes. Look for the show, The Residency, on the Radio 1 site. Thanks to everyone who got in touch with the show. Loving the feedback as always. Up next tonight, it's Toddler T taking you through till 4 a.m. And he's got a fun-packed show lined up with Miami rapper Space Ghost Perp and producer Dre Skull from Jamaica. So that's what I love about Toddler's show, is like the names of the guests are amazing. It feels like, Kutski sounds so bland and boring when you think, that Space Ghost Perp's going to be up soon. Need to raise my game. Anyway, this is me leaving you with this old school classic. Up next on The Residency next week, midnight, Chucky's in with the hard beats, and I will catch you in 3 weeks from now. This is Kutski signing out.
BBC Radio 1's Residency, Kutski, Chucky and Heidi on rotation.